I'm here to talk to you guys today about, establishing nonprofits and kind of tying in personal journey to that. And so I actually want to start off. I'm going to be kind of funny now and just end my screen share because I'd rather just do this face to face. I want to share a story about a student I worked with for many years and that I think is quite inspiring and leads into the rest of this conversation. So I met this student. I typically work with college students, and this particular individual was still in high school when I started working with them. And they were struggling. I mean, they were selling drugs, they were doing drugs, they were failing all their classes. I mean, they were very much living on the fringe. They were in foster care. They had gone home to home. They ended up being adopted, but that really wasn't working out, and they kind of re-entered the system. And so when I met them, they were a junior in high school, and they really wanted to turn their life around. Some really major events happened. They lost a friend that kind of shook them to their core in a way that the fragility of life came to surface for them. And so I was like, all right, you got to find mentors. You got to seek out people that'll take you under their wing. You gotta find people that you look up to, kind of as former speakers were saying. And so they joined the youth group, and that was super helpful to them. They originally joined it just because their best friend was part of it, but I was like, all right, that's a good enough reason to go. So you should participate and get something out of it. And one thing led to another, and they started to change their life around. They lost a bunch of weight. They started running, started trying to work out, get healthy. They cut out the drugs. They started trying in school for the first time in their whole life. And it wasn't that they weren't smart. They just weren't applying themselves. And so they did really well their senior year in high school, but the grades from the prior years held them back, and they weren't accepted to a single college. So they started at community college. Like, it's okay. You go to this school, you're gonna do it, you're gonna be okay. It's not where you start, it's where you're going. Turns out they fell in love with community college. They were struggling through it. They were homeless. They were sleeping in cars. They were sleeping at their friends' houses. And I encouraged them, you do what you got to do to get through these years. You push through. There's help, there's resources. Let's get you funding. Let's make sure your college is paid for and pursue your dreams. And so from that community college, they ended up getting into a 4-year university, a Central Connecticut State. And that was like their first home. They were really proud of that. It wasn't easy. They were working a couple jobs alongside school. They wanted to party. They didn't have as much time to party. And I said, that's okay. My guidance on that front is partying is like the food pyramid. You need sugar, but you need a lot of vegetables. So make sure you balance that, and bread. So, they worked really hard, and things weren't always easy. A lot of things were coming to surface. That this individual lost their dad to deportation. Their mom had passed away while they were in college due to an overdose. And a lot of those demons were hard to face, right? Because the storms always come. And so my guidance was, hey, the storm is here, but so is your journey. You got to stay on the path. It's okay if you fall here and there, because part of success is learning how to get back up from our falls. Just like babies, right? Babies don't learn how to walk by just walking. They fall a bunch and learn how to balance themselves before they can walk and eventually run. Now, this individual graduates, and keep in mind, this person didn't even get accepted into college the first time around, and they went to Harvard for their master's degree. So they went from community college to Central to Harvard. They ended up starting a business that raised millions of dollars, and they were able to help people. They were able to really build a life for themselves. And this is one of my proudest students that I've worked with. And their name was Christopher Marinelli, who, after getting married, changed their name to Chris Scott. So I'm the student from the story. little kind of a good little plot twist. So I'm going to actually share my screen now. That's my journey. So I'm really proud to be here as a foster care alumni, and also just as my unapologetic self. So I'm the executive director of Sun Scholars Inc. It's a nonprofit I started maybe 6-7 years ago. And we work with foster and adopted youth who are pursuing college, trade school, career. And I really created this organization because of all of the struggles that I experienced growing up, finding advice from people who didn't necessarily understand where I was coming from, but also, the unique kind of trials and tribulations that go on from a life of trauma, right? So I really wanted to create something to help others on the mountain that I know I had to climb. And I often equate it to, we're all on the same mountain, right? Us as the kind of proverbial foster and adopted youth of the world. Same mountain, different paths. So here's a little fun. You can make fun of me if you want. This is my journey in pictures. So this very first picture is high school Chris with my friend Lilia, who now actually works for NASA. I had very long hair. It was great. So me at Tunxis. This is me at Central with my friend Kelso. I looked so different. It's hilarious. This is an opportunity I presented to Congress a couple years ago as part of the foster youth internship with Congressional Coalition on Adoption. All of you, when you're in college, if you pursue college, you don't need to go to college to be successful by any means. If you choose to take that route, I recommend that internship. This is me when I graduated Harvard with my master's in government. And then here's the logo of Sun. And then here's what really matters in my life. This is my wife, Carolyn. She's the smartest person I know. And just in case Fig doesn't make an appearance on the camera, this is Fig, my cat, and Puchakaya, our rabbit. Our rabbit has like its own bedroom. It's living a better life than I had. So we love Puchakaya. So I already kind of explained a little bit about what Sun is. We're a 501c3, which means we're a nonprofit. So we're tax exempt. We're funded by grants, donations, philanthropy, and volunteers. So that's kind of what makes us what we are, although we do have a full staff and whatnot, which is crazy. And that's what I do every day. This is our headquarters. This is a picture of some of our students. We went to Florida and volunteered with Habitat for Humanity. And then again, our logo. If any of you guys want to volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, I really recommend it. I share all this because, I know a lot of people that are coming up in the child welfare system have dreams and aspirations to one day build a nonprofit, as I did, right? And so I hope that both in tying my journey to kind of like the purpose of what Sun is, you can see that connection of like, okay, these were some disparities. And then through those disparities, a niche was found that needed to be filled. I want to leave you with some guidance, some advice of things that, I always really benefited from knowing. And it's never too late to start. So whether you're in high school, whether you're, graduating, whether you're in college, it's never too late to start. I started building this when I was a senior in college. So I was 21. I'm 28 now, I think. And that's kind of the timeline. Honestly, I have no idea how old I am at this point. So first and foremost, have a plan. Just like Rob was saying, have plans, make plans for your plans. It's really, really important to have foresight, to not just fake it till you make it, right? You want to have an idea. When I first was building Sun, I don't encourage this, but I worked an entire year for free. I left my job. I was in AmeriCorps, and I said, I really believe in this. This is what I'm going to do. And so for one whole year, I was basically running and doing the services of this organization because I really believed in it. And that was really special. You want to figure out what your mission is, right? There's a lot of organizations already out there doing advocacy, doing work. Figure out what makes you different. And that's really, really important. Build a board, basically your mentors, right? I've had mentors that have guided me through every step of my life. You got to have some good mentors. Be hopeful, but be realistic. Some people will catch lightning in a bottle, right? And just go viral and take off and life becomes easy. Most people, that's not the case. Even Sun, which took off a little bit faster than I thought, still took a couple years of really grinding. And just some core lessons that I think are true about building a nonprofit and in life in general. You're smarter than you realize. Think really highly of yourself. Really believe in yourself. If you need to do something, you can probably learn it. Not always. Like I couldn't do heart surgery, but I can definitely figure out how to do accounting. A lot of those skills and strategies, the internet is amazing. Just make sure you're reading the right stuff. You don't have to do everything. So try to learn as much as you can, but be, aware that you can have teams to help you. Whether this is your board, whether this is friends, whether this is your colleagues, build a team, play to each other's strengths, find mentors. That's the most important thing in life in general. Find people that through altruism, right? Like are willing to help you. You shouldn't have to necessarily pay somebody for this. There's people out there that really want to help you. Find those people that are willing to bring you under their wing with nothing to gain. I think that's really important. And pay for insurance. If you start a nonprofit or you want to one day, get insurance. It's something that one of my board members, who actually had since passed and was really close in my life, he was like every day was like, Chris, you need to get insurance. And I finally did. So, he didn't pass, in relation to insurance, by God, but, just be really mindful that in life in general, this is a really important thing to have. It's one of those really boring things that no one wants to talk about, but yeah. And then I'm just going to leave you, with some last values before some questions. I'm a total nerd. So this is a picture of Luffy from One Piece. I love it. I'm going to start with that quote. Stop counting only those things you've lost, but ask yourself, what is it that still remains to you? It's really important to always find the silver linings in life. The world is going to constantly throw us stones. It's going to constantly give us trials and tribulations. Finding the silver lining is how you do it. When I was sleeping in a car going to community college, I jogged to school every day. My car didn't work really, so I had to still get to school without my car, if that makes sense. And I would just be like, I'm just training for a marathon. And I was able to find those tough silver linings to get through those hard moments in life. Be realistic. Don't fake it till you make it. Have plans. Believe in yourself, but also believe in that you need a plan to make sure that your dreams and passion turn into action. I think that's really important. And be, humble. Have humility. Keep your hopes up high and your head down low. You're playing the long game, right? We don't want to self-aggrandize too much. We really want to just say, hey, this is my journey. Let me operate with humility. And humility means willingness to accept advice and guidance as well. So that's my TED Talks of the day. I hope this was meaningful, and I'm really happy to take any questions if there's time.
Thank you so much, Chris. Unfortunately, we don't have time, but I just want to say thank you from one Foster alum to another. You are a powerhouse, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. You show us that every day that there's so many different ways that you can level up. So thank you for showing us the way that you have leveled up. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.